man, but you definitely got to have somebody to talk to at
Yeah,
all
and
times.
that's unfortunate, man, because obviously I know a lot of men who probably been in that situation. All of us have. You know what I'm saying? We've all been at the end of our rope at some point. But I always say, man, that happiness is an inside job. You know what I'm saying? We can't outsource our happiness. We have to be responsible for our own happiness, right? So you have to do what you need to do in order to be happy.
Welcome back to the Riders, the Baldheaded Barbershop. Not a location, but definitely a state of mind. Got my brothers, my partners in crime, Tory Taylor,
What's up, people?
and you already know who that one is. Now, I'm the only one with
I
short
need a drum
chrome
roll.
dome this
I
evening.
need a drum roll. I
But the
just, I
thing of
just
it
decided
is,
that.
we are all bald
Hey,
headed.
ball, baby.
But the thing is, it's just by chance or coincidence. But the amazing thing is, it is helping you get those things off your mind. It represents the bald head, and this show will be like none other. Y'all, we're talking about the sacrifices of a man. Now, ladies, this is not the show we're going to bash you. This is the show that's going to help you understand just a little more, really, what that man does for you, those kids, everybody else, and finally, he puts himself last. So, Tori is the married man on the panel.
I am.
Hey, bro, it's like every remark does for me. How you doing it?
How you doing? What have you done for me lately? You know, man, you good, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Paul over there just chomping at the bit. I know.
Yeah, he ready to jump in like double dutch. You know what I'm saying? What's my turn? What's my
Wait a
turn?
minute. You've been hanging around him too much because that sounds like something he would say.
It rubs off.
Go double dutch.
But yeah, man, true manhood. We sacrifice so much.
Absolutely.
Although I'm not married, it still seems like so many people. Why are you laughing, dog?
I'm married. I totally.
It's funny.
Thank God. I was just thank God.
So, Tori, no better person than you to kick this one off, man. Tell me about some of the sacrifices as a married man, what you did.
Man, just like any relationship, man, being married, obviously you have to sacrifice for your wife, for your kids,
Bro, why you start out with a deep breath? You know what I'm saying? Just like, go ahead, tell us
that's
from
how I
a
get
married
my thoughts
perspective.
together, man.
Right.
Yeah, so hey, you have to sacrifice for your family. Your wife, your kids. You have to be that provider, that protector, and oftentimes you're putting their needs ahead of yours.
I feel
So sometimes in doing so, you can kind of get lost in the sauce. You can kind of lose yourself a little bit. So you have to make sure that you do something, do the things to, kind of center yourself, to get back to yourself so you don't lose yourself. And so, you can be that man that your family needs to provide and protect.
yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, whether it's going to the gym, playing ball, sitting out on the porch, just chilling, you got to find that reset. Still a little bit of time for you. And, man, Paul, you over there quiet, but I know you ready to get your double dutch on.
Go on and jump in, bro.
I definitely appreciate it from him. But even, in terms of just sacrifice, I'm not married, but I'm a dad. You know what I'm saying? And
Sacrifice.
that's
And
it. You got something in your life that's more important than yourself.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what drives you. And for me and for most men, that do a lot of sacrifice. And it's not just men, women too. We're not trying to say y'all don't sacrifice, but we do so willingly. So a lot of times you're not necessarily looking for something back, but it is important that a family structure feeds into people, the same way it pulls stuff out.
But you know what,
You know what I'm
dog,
saying?
man, I got so many homeboys who I was on the golf course with one of my partners, and I said, bro, you ever ask yourself the question, what about me? Bruh broke down. And I don't think he realized how much he was carrying until that moment. Man, you ask yourself, what about me? Because like you said, Tori, it's the wife, it's the kids. It might be mom, it might be your kids, it might be everybody else. When you get to that point about when you're asking, what about me? You really realizing how much you're sacrificing, and you empty.
Yeah.
You can't give nothing if you're empty.
Yeah,
What
you can't
good?
pour from an empty cup, man.
What good are you to your wife and kids? What good are you to your kids and grandkids if you have nothing else to give.
Yeah. So you have to. I just put myself in that situation. For me, I do something daily to make sure that I'm okay. And for
So
me,
what you
that's
do?
going to the gym.
Okay.
That's going to the gym. I work out. Those 2 hours I hit in the gym every day, those 2 hours are for me to make sure I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically in a good place. So I can, handle my responsibilities of, being a husband, being a father, trying to maintain friendships, because that's another thing too, that adds to the plate.
I hate,
Trying to have a social life,
I hate
you
that
know,
just sit in the bushes and wait on you, bro.
you know what I'm saying? I got plenty of bushes around the house too.
But that's so important. No matter who you are, you gotta have some form of release when your stress levels get high, your tensions get high, and you just gotta get away somewhere and have whatever your me time is.
Yeah.
Go have you some me time. Reset
Oh,
yourself.
as
Come
crazy
back.
as it sounds, I live by myself and I still got to find time to have some me time.
Yeah, because you still have responsibilities too. You
Yeah,
work,
no doubt.
you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
it's 24 hours being a jerk, and you don't get no
It's a
time
full-time
off.
job.
Yeah, that's a full time. That nigga on call, bro. He on call.
See, I was trying to,
3 o'clock in the
yeah.
morning. He on call. We need a jerk. I'll be there in a minute. Let me put
Put a little more bass in for
let me put a little more jerk on my
Yeah, but
jerk sauce on.
we all have our levels of responsibility. You being a single man, you being a single, you're single with no kids, but you're single, but you have, you have a child. So
Right.
obviously, you have your responsibilities. You have your responsibility as well. I'm married with children. You know what I'm saying?
like
So
a TV show.
Bundy, what's his name?
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Sticking your hand down your
Yeah.
pants, bro.
So yeah, I understand that, we all have our levels of responsibility. So for me, like I said, I have to take those 2 hours every day
Man,
to go work out so I can come back and deal with some of the things that,
man, I'm gonna be transparent, man. It's been a few times in life where I got to that breaking point, and it's just like, man, I ain't gonna lie. There was one instance in college, I had planned to do myself in. I'm done. I'm out.
Wow.
I ain't got no
that's
more
real.
juice, man.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you get to that breaking point. Recently, there was NFL player who committed suicide.
Yeah.
And,
Fierce.
rest in peace. Condolences to the family, even to that NFL family.
Yeah, that was sad.
The truth of it is, you might think that somebody has it all together. They're living the lap of luxury. They got everything at their fingertips, but they're dying inside, man.
Yeah, and a lot of times, a lot of people are dying inside because they feel like they can't talk to anybody.
Right.
They feel like they can't tell people, "Hey, I'm struggling." You know what I'm saying? Because there's such a negative stigma on, this whole mental health, illness thing, right? So we have to remove that negative stigma from mental health intervention. It's okay to not be okay,
Yeah, man.
right? But it's not okay to not want to seek help.
And I think oftentimes, just kind of keeping it in the road of the sacrifices of a man. Oftentimes, like you said, you're that empty cup. You've sacrificed so much, you don't realize you're empty. You don't think or see there's another way out.
That's your new norm. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and that dog, that is a sad new norm.
But I can honestly say I've gotten in times like where it'll get almost to the point like you just happiness ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? This is my life. My life is this, and happiness ain't part of it. At least not in this phase of it. So you just try to push through the best you can, man. But you definitely got to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, man, because obviously I know a lot of men who probably been in that situation. All of us have, you know what I'm saying. We've all been at the end of our rope at some point. But I always say, man, that happiness is an inside job. You know what I'm saying? We can't outsource our happiness. We have to be responsible for our own happiness, right? So you have to do what you need to do in order to be happy. And why would you give somebody else the responsibility of your own happiness? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's too much of a burden to place on somebody else to be responsible for my happiness.
But
No, that's my responsibility.
What do you do when you can't find happiness anymore?
You got to create it.
That sounds so easy, man.
It's not easy, but it's doable.
Again, to somebody who's been at that dismal, abysmal place where you can't do it no more, you can't face it no more, you just can't handle it no more. For you to say, just get there. It sounds so easy, but
Right.
you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm thinking about,
I've been
I'm
there.
thinking about where I've been. I ain't gonna lie,
Been
man.
there. Been there.
I'm fighting it,
But that's why
yes,
he's saying we got to get that stigma off of seeking professional help.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that, I think, in most cases, especially among African American community, a lot of times it's the fact that we haven't sought the help, and we sitting here thinking it's something that we can kind of work ourselves through.
Yeah.
no, you know what?
That's
And
the
we
issue.
shooting ourselves in the foot.
The crazy
bruh.
thing is, man, Gen X, we were always taught you bottle your emotions, you don't cry, you fight through it, and you keep everything inside. Now, that's good for a season. But even like the Bible says, to everything there's a season. When that season is over, you need to let it out, and you don't. You basically turn yourself into like a time bomb just waiting to go off.
Yeah, and that stuff started from birth.
Yeah, man.
Even as babies, little boy, he
Stop
fall.
that crying. I'm gonna give you something to cry
Stop
about.
that crying. Men don't cry. Real big boys don't cry. Well, what you're doing?
Sniffling.
What you're doing is you're teaching them not to deal with their emotions.
Exactly.
So you go through life. You grow up as a young man, a teenager, into a grown adult,
That's
thinking
broken.
that I have to bottle up my emotions. I can't deal with them.
Man.
Right?
No, just truthfully being real with y'all, at 51, I'm just learning to deal with emotion and brokenness from the past. Because it comes a time where you got to say, you know what, dog? I'm not carrying this no more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not carrying this.
It's too heavy. It's too heavy. And I always use the weightlifting analogy because I like to lift weights. You could take a weight.
Me too.
Yeah, I see. You could take a weight, 135 pounds. You could lift that for, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, but eventually, it's gonna get too heavy.
It's the same weight.
It's the same weight.
It's the same weight, but over time.
But you've been carrying it for so long. You've been doing it for so long. Eventually, it's gonna get too heavy.
Right.
You're gonna need to put it down, or you're gonna need some help to do that.
Yeah, man.
So it's the same thing with our with our mental health, with dealing with our emotions. Sometimes it's too heavy, right? And it's okay. That's okay. That's not a sign of weakness.
It's actually a sign.
It's a sign of strength to say I need help.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You can't deal with the problem if you don't admit that there's a problem in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You have to identify something in order to deal with it. And that's the first step. So we have to, like I said, remove that negative stigma, say, hey, I'm not good. I need some intervention here. I need some help. That's the first step.
Clearly, we started in one lane of men's sacrifice, and I'm going to like officially go ahead and change lanes. Let's just focus on that men's mental health, Black men's mental health. Yeah, we started. It's our show. We're gonna do it. If you don't like it, stick around, and we're gonna give you
It's
some
called a
more.
robot.
And I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. Take just a moment. Go to YouTube. Click follow. Leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. Go to Instagram. Do the same thing. Definitely, we're going to value your feedback. We love to hear it. And if you have a show idea, guess what? Drop us a line. We're going to take what's on your mind off like only we can do it here at the Baldheaded Barbershop. But, Paul, you were in the military. Yeah, you both were in the military. Thank you both for your services.
Mm-hmm.
PTSD is a real thing.
Yes.
You got PTSD?
Look. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of us do. Yeah.
And people think.
But the craziest thing is, it's like we were talking about before. A lot of times you'll get a scar, right?
Mhm.
And it hurt when you got it. And it heals, you move on, and it'll get to the point to where that scar is still there, but you forget you got it. Almost to where it's your new normal.
Yeah.
You walking around with scars that never healed fully.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it because it's just normal to you. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that I didn't even realize were things that my PTSD was triggered, by certain things that I didn't even realize, until I really kind of start talking to somebody and realize, oh, wow, maybe that ain't the most normal thing in the world.
Everybody else does.
That ain't the most normal reaction.
It's funny that you say that because when I always knew I had this feeling like I felt like I just it was something wrong.
I woke up feeling dangerous.
You know what I'm saying? I always had this feeling like it's just something like I'm not my there's something going on. I didn't know it was depression. You know what I'm saying? Until I actually sought help and started talking to a counselor and was diagnosed, and they was like, that's why you have these feelings.
Right.
It's this heaviness on you, and it just keep weighing you down, and you don't feel yourself.
Right.
And so, like you said, for me it was normal, but I just knew I didn't feel, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't feel like myself. I felt like, something was wrong.
Right.
And so that's when I sought help. And living with that, what you call new normal, what it does is you kind of get disillusioned. Like, okay, well, this is just how it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm this
Yeah,
way.
this is just, I
And
guess
this-
it's
this
just part of being a man.
It's just how I am.
Yeah, well, or
This me.
or for me, I thought just, this is just part of being a man. This, this is what men feel. So I'm a man. This is what I got to feel. This is what I got to go through. But that's a lie.
Man, I think back to those Vietnam vets, and the term they would use is, "Oh man, he's shell shocked."
Yeah.
Uh,
That's PTSD.
yeah, man, those veterans didn't get that help, and you look at how their lives have evolved. When was the last time you rode down the street and saw a Vietnam vet or war veteran, anything or help?
Yeah.
Man, help is essential, bro.
It really is.
But
It's
listen,
really
though,
essential.
I am a
It really
vet,
is.
and if there are any vets out there that think they need some help and resources, man, va.gov, man,
VA.gov.
connect you to all of the resources they got, man. Now, that's one thing I can say.
There are resources out there for
The
veterans.
government
Absolutely.
can't get a lot of things right, work together on a lot of things. But man, in my experience, they do take care of veterans. They take good care of me, man.
They take good care of
I
you too.
love the VA.
Paul, I'll present the question to you first, and Tory, you chime in if you want. The first time you went in for an evaluation, walk me through what you felt and your experience.
True story, man. I'm doing the evaluation for PTSD, and the guy says, "Have you ever thought about using cannabis?" No. Tell me more.
No, what is
Tell
cannabis?
me, tell me more. Do you have any samples? But no, man, it's for real though. It's like we started talking about the way it could manifest in your life, and I was like, wow, yeah, I do struggle with that. Wow, I do struggle with that. It was a lot of things that he brought up that I recognized that I struggle with, but I never attached it to, you know,
Any type of diagnosis.
any
Yeah.
type of struggle I
Yeah.
went through. For instance, I when I was in Desert Storm, I served in Desert Storm. I was a lot. It's a lot of people can say you serve in the military, but when you serve in an actual war zone,
That's a little different.
That
where
is different.
there are actually people in this general area that's literally trying to kill you and your fellow soldiers. It becomes more real.
Yeah.
So loud bangs,
Yeah, you just
And-
almost got me with that one.
and
dog.
in the context of here, yeah, it'll startle you, but it's not going to automatically flip into this could be the end. You know what I'm saying? Unless you in a zone where you somewhere. I remember one night I had to pull guard duty at this communication shelter, and it was away from the site where we were at. It was close, but it was far enough to where if somebody got to jump on you, you probably gonna be done dealing by the time your backup get there. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I had a 4-hour shift from midnight to 4 a.m. And just 2 nights before my turn to pull guard duty, the dude who was in the exact same spot where I was standing at, some insurgents was in the mountains shooting at him. Like not no drill. This ain't
Live
no
ammunition.
routine, real live. Allah up there shooting. You know what I'm saying? And here I am 2 nights later standing in the exact same spot. I get out there at 12 o'clock, about 12:30, all you hear is a bam. And everything went out because it was like it was like a big customs building. So it had got bombed during the airstrike. So really, it was just like the hull of a building, but it was a good place for a communications hub. So we put a hub there, but we had to guard the hub. So here I am guarding this hub. 30 minutes into my shift, 12:30 at night, bam, all the lights go out. It was lit up by a generator. That was my point. So I'm in pitch black dark, and I know that it's people out here trying to kill. And I'm sitting there. We supposed to have our weapon on safe.
Wide open.
You was
My-
cocked already.
My job was on fully automatic. You know what I'm saying? Dog? I had to made up my mind, bro. If I ain't riding in this desert.
You gonna go out swinging.
If a mosquito flap his wings too loud, bro, I'm gonna give you 1 second. If you come back with anything other than English, you up
Later.
out of here. You up out of here. I got people to get back home to.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, I went through it. I was scared as all. That was, matter of fact, in my life, that's my benchmark for the scaredest I've ever been in my life. You know what I'm saying? But what I never really associated to now, even to this day, bangs hit me different.
He just got me.
Yeah.
He got me with that bang.
Bangs hit me different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a bang to me is,
takes you back to that place.
you
in the
know,
dark.
and I'm at a point where, dude, I literally could be up out of here if somebody get to jump on me.
Yeah, man. I didn't, I served too. My story is not like yours. But when I went in for my evaluation after I had gotten out of the Navy, it was just like I explained earlier. I was explaining to, the doctor that I just, I just didn't feel right. I just felt something was wrong. And as she was asking questions, she was like, "Oh, you're depressed. These are major, keys for depression." And I'm like, I never even thought of that. Like you said, it became my normal. So I just thought this is how, it's supposed to feel. And so for me, at that point, I knew that, I needed to get some help. So after that, after I got through my stuff, that's when I started going to counseling.
Man, Tory, I ain't gonna lie. When you told me I'm dealing with PTSD, I'm like, man, you in the Navy. You was on a boat. How you get PTSD on a boat?
Well, it actually stemmed from when I was in the military. My daughter, both of my kids, actually, they had a lot of medical issues. And it was
The sacrifice of being away from your kids.
sacrifice of being away from my kids, and even being there with them and watching them suffer.
And there's nothing.
And there's nothing I can do. That's
a
another
parent's worst nightmare.
that's another kind of trauma that we don't always talk about. Parents with children with illnesses, and I'm sitting there watching my kids deteriorate in front of me.
Wow.
That's trauma.
Oh, I bet.
That's trauma. You can't do anything for them. Wow. And so for me, that was the trigger for my PTSD. Wow. Seeing my children go through that.
Serious right there.
And just being there for them and not being able to help them.
Man, we're not going to be on the doom and gloom. Let's switch lanes and go back to that sacrifice of a man. So check. I'm sure y'all have seen these social media women who say he's got to make 6 figures, he got to be 6 feet tall, you got to have a 6-pack, and you got to take me to a 5-star restaurant the first night we meet. Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice?
And Cheesecake Factory is not an acceptable first date.
Wait. Say that again, Paul.
Let the internet tell
Dog,
me.
I remember Cheesecake Factory used to be a decent place.
Cheesecake Factory is still a good place, man. I don't care.
Bruh.
Listen, bro, I'm so glad I'm not. And let me just say
That
this
cheese-
before y'all.
that cheesecake
Before y'all
shepherd's pie,
single,
bruh.
before
That
y'all
cheesecake
single,
factory shepherd's
before
pie
y'all
is
single,
bomb.
then just start talking about this stuff. Let me just say, I'm so glad that
You're
I
not in
am
the
married
game.
and I'm not in the game, because I don't know what I would do, man.
So, Tori, how long you been married, dog?
I've been married for over 20 years, man. We just celebrated 20 years in June.
Man, congratulations.
Congratulations,
Your
man.
sentence
That's
almost
all right, man.
Man, he says, hey, man, listen.
Hey, wait. Tori knows the secret on how to keep your wife in love.
Hey, man, don't listen to Sterling on this. do not. If I had listened to Sterling on this, I wouldn't be married.
I bet you would.
I bet I'm no, but
She stuck around this long.
she has stuck around this long.
But man, are you
She long suffering.
for real? Are y'all willing to sacrifice your good earned money on an if or maybe on these women that make these unrealistic demands?
That's a
Paul.
That's a you question. I can't answer.
Angela, he's not answering. Angela, he's not
I'm
answering.
good. I'm good.
Well, I mean, for me, I put it like this: as a single man that See, it's different. Paul at 50 something versus Paul at some younger age. The answer is totally different. At this stage, you asking me, is it worth the risk? Yes, because I see the value in having a good mate.
Wait. You willing to spend that? That's what you're saying? You are willing?
Well, listen, on the right person.
Okay. But how
Wait,
you
dog,
how you know
first
if they're the
date.
right person? You talking about first
which,
date?
which is where the risk come in. You got to roll the dice. You can't win at the
Okay,
late table.
let me
You don't
ask you
roll
this.
the dice, baby.
A first date, how much you willing to spend?
Depends on now. Did I just get my check, or is it like almost like a week before
You
I
just
got
got
my
your
check?
check.
No, I'm just
You on
I'm
you on
just
full. You got a full
I mean,
tank.
it depends on it depends. Not all dates are considered equal. You know what I'm saying? It might be this jazzy chick that I've been watching for 2 years, and
Bro, how much
she
are you
finally-
willing to spend? How much are you willing to spend?
Wait.
I'm gonna give y'all.
How much are you willing to spend on the first date?
I'm gonna
You
give
know
y'all.
what?
I'm gonna give y'all a funny story. You asked me how much I willing to
How
spend
much
on
are
the
you willing to
first
spend?
date.
Tori,
I'm-
wait.
Right.
Tori, prepare yourself for what you about
Okay.
to say.
Listen, I was living in D.C. DC, if you ever been to DC, bro, that's chocolate city.
That's
bro.
chocolate city. I've been to
That's
DC.
that's they invented jazzy women in DC.
Okay.
So I'm going around and I'm making stops at I'm basically me and my partner, we opened a specialty care pharmacy, right? So I'm going around kind of, creating relationships with doctors' offices. So we had this one doctor's office that I had created a relationship. I go into the office, Dr. Brown, he was good dude, black dude, dermatologist. In the front of his office, he had two older women work the front desk. He had this old black lady and this old Spanish lady, because it was in a kind of evenly divided area. And in the back, he had this jazzy nurse practitioner. So when I came in, a lot of times we was talking about the drugs, pharmacist background. I'm talking 9 times out of 10, I came in, I was talking to the nurse practitioner. So I was coming in on this particular trip, inviting people to a Christmas social that we were supposed to be having.
Okay.
So I just threw a blank invitation out to the office as a whole. So I get downstairs. You go to somewhere, you talk to people, you don't know. I didn't memorize all the names. I'm in the office, but I'm not in there enough where I know everybody's name like this. I just know the two old ladies in the front and the jazzy chick in the back. Leave the invitation, get downstairs. Here go my text. Sharice wants to RSVP.
That's
Sharice.
that's jazzy nurse practitioner.
Bro, that got to be. So here she go, the jazzy practitioner from the back, done RSVP for the party. So no problem. I put her name on the list. Fast forward, I'm getting closer to the event. So now I got to get a head count for food and stuff like that. I hit a so long story short, she coming to the party. I'm RSVPing for one. I say, well, she said, no, I'm coming solo, all caps, SOLO. And I text back, I'm coming SOLO too. So we going back and forth. She don't make the Christmas party. So we following up. She ended up missing the Christmas party for a family emergency. Fast forward to New Year's. I went out of town. I get back in town. We make plans for New Year's. I went all out. You asked me how much I spent on the first date. This jazzy Sharice.
I don't know where it's going.
Dog. I got almost front row tickets. New Year's Eve, Baltimore, Maryland, 2019, 2020. I forget which year. But Martin Lawrence had a New Year's Eve show in Baltimore. So I go up to Baltimore. I got like bomb seats. I got reservations for this seafood joint right on the board. I'm going out. This jazzy Cerise. Man, we texting back and forth. She excited. We doing little Martin Lawrence jokes over the phone.
Little joke.
Bruh, she give me directions to her house to pick her up. Bruh, we get to the front door. Why the old black lady was Sharice the whole time, dog.
I figured
I was like, dog,
that's where that was going. Yeah.
Shit, dog. I felt like Lady Eloise from Boomerang, dog. She came out the door, bruh. Dog, I blew my my fault. I'm like, bro, how you gonna be an old lady named
You
Sharice?
went on through
Sharice is a jazzy chick's
but you went
name,
on
bro.
through the date though, right?
Bro, I took her to the show.
She probably
bro.
Sharice had a good time.
She had the bomb time.
I
We
bet.
coming back. She talking about, oh, it's late. You can park anywhere. No, ain't gonna be no parking, Miss Lady Eloise. My God.
Come on in.
My God, darling.
Now, Paul, that story is hilarious, but you know what story I thought you were going to tell?
Which one?
You lost some items of mine.
What?
You lost some items of mine at the bottom of the Wekiva River.
Oh, now that was horrible too. Yeah, I done had some first dates,
Bruh.
but I long story short, the answer to your question, how much I'm willing to spend, it depends on how much I'm liking the chick. And that's for any.
So you have no barometer, no parameters.
If it's somebody I'm trying to impress, I'm trying to impress.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to season. I need you to think back to season 1. There was a cape that we used to put on you, and you know what it is, don't you? Captain.
Whatever.
For those of you who know, you know. But man, we've had some. Y'all had me over here almost about to cry. I ain't gonna be soft. But you know what, man?
It's not soft to cry.
It's not.
It's a human emotion.
You know what? Jim Valvano, when he did that, Don't Give Up, Don't Ever Give Up, that was back in 1993, and he gave some great, absolutely great words of wisdom. And he said, stimulate your emotions every day.
Yeah.
Learn to laugh, learn to cry, learn to be quiet, learn to be serious, and even get yourself to anger. And that gives you a healthy balance of mental wellness. But
you run the full gamut of human emotions.
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Give yourself room to breathe. And when you feel like it's something that you can't deal with on your own, in the words of Tory, seek some help.
Seek some help.
Seek some help.
Don't suffer in silence. Don't suffer alone. You are not alone. There's people out here that love you, that care about you. Seek some help. It's not a weakness to say, hey, I'm not in a good place. I need some help. Just think of the young man that passed away, Mr. Marshawn Nealon, God rest his soul. It's not too late. Just seek some help.
Man, I think that, in a health class in college, I didn't realize it until I walked in those shoes. No one wants to die. You just want to stop hurting.
You just want to start hurting.
And the truth of it is, man, if you can't think of anybody else to call, find a crisis hotline. Or whether, I believe it's 311 universally. 311 will get you some help. Find a crisis hotline. But I may not know you personally, but even to me, your life matters.
Absolutely.
You matter to more than just me. You got a whole slew of people who will miss you. And the truth of it is, don't allow a split-second decision send you to an eternal resting place.
Yeah. And check on your people.
Man.
Yes, absolutely.
Check on your people. We'll sit up here, we looking at that, like the NFL guy that committed suicide.
It his hands,
Bruh,
man.
He had just scored his first NFL touchdown, man. So he's 24 years old. He at the top of the world. And for everybody looking in on him,
He had the perfect.
seemed like he was
we
fine.
just like, oh, this young man, at the peak of everything, And you just never know what burdens people carrying, man. I didn't know anything about him just losing his parents till after
Not so
this,
long. Last year.
So you never know, man.
So
check
he may have been
check
down
on your
with grief.
people.
He was, yeah. He lost his mom last year.
Paul, if I could amend your statement, y'all make sure to check on your strong friends.
Yeah.
Check
Seemingly strong.
Strong friend. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, as being that strong friend, it's been times where I've had to ask myself, man, who going to check on me?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, man, the search for the perfect other is oftentimes a search for what we lack in ourselves. And if that's the case, here's to hope in what you never find what you're looking for. For Paul Rivers, Tory Taylor, we are the Baldheaded Barbershop.
Yes, sir.
Miss Eloise, I had a good time that night. I had a good time. You was the bomb.
Lady panties.
My guys, darling.
Hey, peace. Love y'all, boy.
She talking about you can park anywhere. Like, ain't gonna be no